latter argument. To this end, it has proposed a draft bill to enshrine plea bargaining in the Nigerian constitution.
Plea Bargain will assist in the issue of prison decongestion in Nigeria and bring a great relief to the alarming number of detainees awaiting trial. It will also save the time of the court and reduce the cost of prosecution of cases in court.
There is also the argument as to which concept of plea bargaining should be practiced in Nigeria. In other words, should Nigeria practice the sentence or charge bargaining or both form of bargaining?
I think the two go hand in hand. You cannot really take one and leave the other because situations may arise where the accused person wants to bargain with respect to the charges. For instance, he's charged with about 9 counts. So he may decide to plead guilty to the less grievous ones, which carries a lesser sentence than the more grievous offense. So you can see the two go hand in hand.
To allay the fears of the opponents of the concept, the draft bill has incorporated checks and balances, which the Commission says will check abuses and ensure that punishments are seen to have done justice.
Plea bargaining should not apply to an accused person who has been previously convicted of the same kind of offense. The presiding judge or magistrate should not participate in the discussions.
What remains to be seen is if the National Assembly would agree with the National Law Reform Commission and other proponents of plea bargaining. Amaka Okafor, Channels Television News.
Staying with legal matters, the Court of Appeal has struck out a motion seeking to stop a federal high court in Abuja from further hearing on the suit on the ownership of $15 million allegedly offered to former EFCC Chairman Mr. Nuhu Ribadu as bribed by former Delta State Governor Mr. James Ibori. Justice Amira Sanusi held that the motion was defective and incompetent. A Lagos-based litigant Olalekan Bayode had brought the motion to the appellate court seeking to stop Justice Gabriel Kolawole from further hearing of the motion and asking to be appointed as manager of the $15 million to be used for widows and orphans. Justice Kolawole on November the 23rd last year dismissed the application on the grounds that it was baseless, frivolous, and that Olalekan or Mr. Olalekan didn't show sufficient reason why the $15 million should be released to him. Now, when we come back on News Track, the Federal Executive Council holds its weekly meeting with the maritime sector top in its agenda. And
Akwa Ibom State Governor promises to punish anyone who disturbs the peace in the state.
Please stay with us.
Every day you invite us to your home. Now we invite you to our homepage. Join Channels TV on social media. Hang out with us on Google Plus/Channels Television. Follow us on Twitter.com/Channels TV_NG. Friend us on Facebook.com/Channels Forum. And don't forget to like our page. That's not all. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Channels Web, to get constant video updates and news and events in Nigeria and around the world. ChannelsTV.com, the news at your fingertips.
Welcome back. All our top stories and programs are on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb.
If you are on the go, visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on an iPad, iPhone or BlackBerry. And do remember that you can also download the Channels TV app for the Android and Nokia 920 devices from their respective stores. The maritime sector in Nigeria may soon witness a turnaround if the efforts of the Federal Executive Council is anything to go by. Arising from its weekly meeting presided over by Vice President Namadi Sambo, the Council approved a memo presented by the Labour Minister, Mr. Emeka Wogu, and his counterpart in the Transport Ministry, Senator Idris Umar, asking the Attorney General of the Federation to prepare an instrument for the domestication of the Maritime Labour Convention of 2006. The law will enable Nigeria to, among other things, develop its maritime sector and create jobs in the process. A briefing State House correspondent after the council meeting, the ministers said there will be improved networking of port activities and attraction of technical developments in the sector.
The government of Akwa Ibom State, South Nigeria, has promised to bring to book anyone who disturbs the peace in the state, while inaugurating a judicial commission to investigate the death of 3 siblings of the Nkari clan in Ini local government area of the state. The governor, Godswill Akpabio, directed security operatives in the state to step up their game.
In our state, and this state cannot sleep anymore until such men are apprehended and brought to justice.
In those words, Governor Godswill Akpabio sets the mood for the inauguration of a 6-man Judicial Commission of Inquiry to be headed by Honorable Justice John Bassi, set up to find a lasting end to the perennial crisis rocking in the local government area of Akwa Ibom State.
To the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
These became necessary after 3 brothers of the Nkari clan were killed in fresh face-off, a problem the governor insists must be brought to a halt.
It was an assault on our sensibilities and values, and we will leave no stone unturned in getting to the bottom of this messy fire. We want to know what measures we need to put in place because we have had perennial issues of disputes in this entire clan. This has gone on for too long and has destabilized even the peaceful coexistence of other different members of the society of the people who govern.
The conference chambers of the governor's office also played host to members of the Nigerian Bar Association Uyo chapter, where the governor announced the sponsorship of 30 lawyers from the state for specialized training overseas. Uyo, Eket, and the Ikorekene branches of the NBA would provide 10 candidates each for training in maritime, aviation, oil and gas, taxation, and medical jurisprudence to help the state achieve its developmental goals.
The news just in says the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC, has arrested the former governor of Bayelsa State, Mr. Timipre Silva. In a statement by the head of media and publicity, Wilson Owujare, Mr. Silva was picked up at his Abuja home. On arrival at the facility at about 10 a.m., the Commission's operatives were told that the former governor was not in town, but they insisted on conducting a search on the house, having obtained a warrant from the court. During the search, Mr. Silva, who was earlier said to be out of town, was found hiding in a dingy corner in the upper part of his expansive mansion. Mr. Silva is currently being interrogated at the Abuja headquarters of the Anti-Graft Agency in connection with fresh evidence linking him with alleged fraudulent transactions bordering on money laundering.
Well, the streamlining of all treaties and agreements signed by Nigeria was one of issues dealt with by the House of Representatives on Tuesday, and some of the lawmakers explained that Nigerians are not benefiting from the country's membership of these treaties, agreements and protocols because they have not been domesticated or ratified.
Resolves to request all ministries, departments and agencies as a matter of urgent importance in compliance with the provisions of the Constitution of the Federation within the next 60 days, liaise with the committees on treaties, agreements, and commence domestication/ratification processes of all treaties, agreements, protocols entered into, so as to allow for the laying of such before the House for domestication and ratification.
Mr. Speaker, the problems we have is that they are now binding on us with everything that we have signed without us bringing it to Parliament for us to go over these treaties with a fine-tooth comb to domesticate it and make it homegrown and a Nigerian document which works for us as a country. Therefore, if we leave it as is, we are subject to the laws that are not in conformity with the things that actually make us Nigerians.
Tackling insecurity was one of the key issues played up by President Goodluck Jonathan in his address to the South African Parliament. President Jonathan emphasized that business may not thrive where people feel largely insecure. He also addressed the importance of a harmonious relationship between all arms of government. Our correspondent Amarachi Ubani reports.
President Goodluck Jonathan began his historic address to a joint session of the South African Parliament by recounting